Jubei. I've had 3.5 hours sleep because I went to the midnight showing of Civil War last night, and it was 100% worth it. I look a little bit deranged right now. I see that now. I should have thought about this before I filmed this video. Anyway, as it stands, I've seen Civil War. I've seen Captain America Civil War. I watched it last night at a midnight release with a bunch of friends and my fiance, and it's everything you want from a comic book movie and so much more, because it's everything you want from a good movie, and that's more important. It's one of those films that has no right being as good as it is. It just whatever expectations you have for the third Captain America movie of all things, it's so good. I mean, okay, a little bit on the plot. So the world's governments are really uneasy about the Avengers operating autonomously. They're not perfect. They do leave some collateral damage in their wake, and they are, well, even so, they can't save everybody. There's an incident at the very start of the film, which sort of pushes the governments overboard. They draw up the Sokovia Accords and they say, listen, you answer to the United Nations, you don't just jump in head first, you're making things worse there. Okay? Iron Man signs up, he's like, yes, we've got to do this. We've gone too far, we've got to be kept in check. Captain America's like, no, freedom. We should have the right to act autonomously. We should be able to jump in and help people whenever we need to. And then there's the Winter Soldier story that comes in, and it just sort of muddies the waters a bit between the two friends. And that's really all I'm willing to say. Certain Avengers take Captain America's side, certain Avengers take Iron Man's side, certain new characters take sides. Again, I'm going to keep this completely spoiler free. I'm going to do a spoiler video next time I watch it, because I want to rush out and watch it again. But this video is amazing. But this movie is spectacular. It's equal parts brutal, horrifying, and laugh out loud funny, which makes it sound like a Sam Raimi film. It's not. No shade thrown at Sam Raimi, but there, for a movie that's really, I don't want to say grimdark. It's a very serious, thought-provoking tone. You're going to change sides throughout the movie. You're going to see Iron Man's point, then you're going to see Captain America's point, then you're going to see Iron Man's point again, then you're going to see Black Panther's point. Black Panther, by the way, new character. He's amazing. He's very fundamental to the plot. It's not just a little cameo. He's a character in his own right. There's another character in this. You want me to talk about Spider-Man? I will. The rumors are true. He's perfect Spider-Man. He's comic book Spider-Man. He's 90s cartoon Spider-Man. If you've got Spider-Man fatigue, if you're like, I've seen Spider-Man rebooted twice now, I don't want another Spider-Man. That's completely understandable, but he's gonna blow you away. You haven't seen this Spider-Man, and until you have, you've not seen Spider-Man. He's excellent. In terms of spectacle, this film has it made. There's the big airport fight, which we've seen in the trailers. That's not even the third act. That's like the second to third act break. The third act is a much more intimate, personal affair between. Well, I'm not going to say who's between, but it's really ballsy that they're not blowing their wad on a big they're not finishing the movie on that. They're like, no, we'll have a bit of this, but this movie is equal parts a Winter Soldier sequel and a little bit more of an Age of Ultron sequel, in that it deals with the fallout of Age of Ultron quite heavily. It retroactively helps other movies like Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World. It brings them all into the fore. If you're wondering about Spider-Man again, I will say this, just one last thing. He's not. We don't see his origin in this. He's fully formed. He's already Spider-Man. He's already on the job. We don't get Uncle Ben getting shot. We don't get a wrestling match that he went to. spider bite. We know it. We all know it. It's not worth going over. He's there. He's fully formed. He's amazing. In terms of performances, right across the board, everyone's great. This is a very different Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark. I mean, it's still, unequivocally Tony Stark. It's still that character. It's still that portrayal. You'll love it. He still makes quips, but he's a lot more somber. He's a lot more grown up, and he's like, after Ultron, which was his fault, and Iron Man 3, which was his fault, he's like, maybe we should rein it in a bit, guys. And it's fine. We really, there are, his storyline takes a hell of a beating in this. I mean, he's got his reasons for being. He's got it, and especially in terms of the Captain America Bucky dynamic. Bucky in this Winter Soldier. Oh my god, it's kind of a psychological thriller. It's a lot more Bourne-like, with the rogue agent who's having memory problems. It feels like Bourne is a touchstone for these films, and I don't have a problem with that. That's great. Incorporate Bourne into a comic book movie. Why not? Make it a Captain America movie, of course. Let me see what else I can say non-spoiler wise. Some characters are purely superficial. There's a villain in this who, he's not, he instigates things, but it's not about him. It's not like, Loki looms large in Avengers, Red Skull looms large in the first Captain America movie. This guy comes in and out, and he's not the big villain. He's a Helmet Zemo, but he's not Baron Zemo. He's just a guy. He has his reasons. I'm not going to get into it. He furthers the plot, but it's almost like you could do without him quite a large portion of the time. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, again, the Russos know how to get the best out of her. They're amazing, by the way. Some scenes in this are, like I say, really brutal, really violent, really gut-wrenching. Some scenes, your heart just goes out for the characters. It's shocking and emotional. Other scenes will be shocking for a number of reasons, but then you'll get a laugh. It's like a Whedon flick, but better, dare I say. But okay, this is all I'm going to say. Please watch Captain America: Civil War. I'm going to go back and watch it in 3D because the spectacle in this is amazing. It surpasses every expectation we've had. 10 years ago, when I was reading comic books, a comic book called Civil War came out, and I had to get into this. This movie beats the source material by far, with a smaller cast, which shouldn't be possible, but it does. But those are my thoughts, my spoiler-free thoughts on Civil War. I'll make a longer spoiler vid whenever everybody else can watch it. And then, if you like this vid, please click like, subscribe, view, share, and all the usual jazz. Bye YouTube, bye YouTube, bye.